Hello, my dear students. Today we're going to solve the questions from Macbeth Act 4, Scene 1. Are you ready? Let's begin. The first question. Which among these do the witches not hear as the scene begins? Is it A, the brinded cat mewing? B, the shrieks of the night bird? C, the hedge pig whining? Or is it D, the cries of harpier? So which among these do the witches not hear? And the answer is yes, they do not hear the shrieks of the night bird. That was made up. Okay, moving on to the next one. Which was the first thing that was boiled in the cauldron? A, toad that sat under a cold rock. B, the eye of a newt. C, the toe of a frog. Or D, the fillet of a fenny snake. And the answer is yes, A. In the passage it is mentioned, right? In the poison entrails throw, toad that under cold stone, days and nights has 31, sweltered venom sleeping got, boiled thou first in the charmed pot. So the toad that sat under the cold rock for a month, oozing poison from its pores, was boiled in the cauldron first. Next, what chant is repeated by the witches as they go round the cauldron? Is it A, double trouble, toil and bubble? B, bubble, bubble like the hell broth bubble? C, double, double cauldron bubble? Or D, double, double toil and trouble? Sounds very confusing, isn't it? Okay, the answer is option D. They say double, double toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Yes. Next, cool it with dash, then the charm is firm and good. So cool it with what? Is it A, the gall of a goat? B, root of hemlock? C, baboon's blood? Or D, tiger's chaudron? That means entrails of the tiger. So cool it with what? And the charm is firm and good? And the answer is baboon's blood. Moving to the next one. How did Hecate react when she saw the three witches complete the charm? A, she was angry that they performed it without her. B, she appreciated and admired their efforts. C, she said that they would share the rewards. Or D, she was shocked to see them completing the charm in a cavern. So what was Hecate's reaction? So two answers are right, option B and option C. If you remember, she says, "Oh, well done, I commend your pains." So she appreciated and admired their efforts. And she also said, right, and everyone shall share in the gains. So it is option C as well. Next one. How did the second witch know that something wicked was coming her way? Is it A, by the pricking of her thumbs? B, by the itch in her arms? C, by the intuitive power that she has? Or D, by the pain in her leg? So the answer is by the pricking of her thumbs. And who was the wicked something that was coming? It was Macbeth. Correct. Okay. How did Macbeth address the witches And why does he call them that? So what does Macbeth call the witches? He calls them secret, dark, midnight hags. In the passage, he exactly calls them secret, black, midnight hags. So dark means evil. Black means he's trying to call them evil. Why does he call them that? Because they are deceptive to Macbeth. He cannot decipher what the witches intend to do. Next, what does Macbeth ask the three witches? A. Whether he will be killed by Fleance. B. If he would continue to be the king. C. He commanded them to answer his questions. Or D. To predict his future as the king of Scotland. So what does Macbeth ask the witches? First of all, what does he say? I conjure you, means I command you by that which you profess, however you come to know it. Answer me. So he is commanding them to answer his questions. The next one. What destructions does he mention to the witches that will not affect him? And to just answer what he asks them. So what does he say? I've written it in 6 points. The first one, I don't care if you unleash violent winds that tear down churches. So first he's saying, I don't care if you unleash violent winds or make foamy waves to rise up that destroy the ships and kill sailors. Or if you flatten crops and uproot trees by storm. Make the castles topple down on the heads of their inhabitants. Or collapse palaces and steeples. So steeples are the tall towers in churches. So he's saying, I don't care if castles topple down on their inhabitants, the palaces and steeples collapse, and it creates so much chaos in nature that destruction itself gets tired of itself. So these are all the destructions that he mentions, saying, witches, I don't care if you do all of this, but just answer me. Next, what do the witches add into the flame in order to call the spirits and to show what they do? A. Add the tongue of an adder and blind worm's sting. B. Pour in sow's blood that has eaten her 9 pharaohs. C. Slips of yew slivered in the moon's eclipse. Or D. Liquefied fat from the murderer's gibbet. So if you remember, when the witches say, would you rather hear it from our mouths or from our masters? So Macbeth says, call them, let me see them. So what do the witches add to the flame in order to call the spirits? They poured in pig's blood that has eaten her 9 piglets, and also the liquefied fat from the murderer's gibbet. So this is what they throw into the fire. Next, describe the first apparition. So is it A, a child crowned with tree in the hand? B, a bloody child? C, the ghost of Banquo? Or D, an armed head? So we all know that the first apparition is an armed head. Yes. So do you remember the prophecy? What does the first apparition say? The first apparition, who is an armed head, warns Macbeth and says, beware of Macduff, the Thane of Fife. And then, dismiss me, enough. And the first apparition vanishes. Next, how does Macbeth react after the warning of the first apparition? A. He's scared and requests to not say anything more. B. He thanks it for the good caution. C. He says that it has described exactly what he feared. Or D. All of the above. So, the answer is B. He thanks it for the good caution. And C. He says that it has described exactly what he feared. Because he says, right, whatever thou art, for thy good caution, thanks. Thou hast harped my fears all right. Okay. Which is the second apparition? Is it A child crowned with tree in the hand? B, a bloody child? C, the ghost of Banquo? Or D, an armed head? So the second apparition is a bloody child. So what does the second apparition tells Macbeth? It tells Macbeth to be violent and bloody, to be bold and firm, or you can write the word resolute, to laugh and scorn at the power of other men, because nobody born from a woman will ever harm Macbeth. So this apparition is trying to make Macbeth overconfident. Is saying, you be violent and bloody, kill people. You be bold and resolute, laugh and scorn at other people's power, because nobody born from a woman will ever harm you, Macbeth. So after the second apparition descends, what does Macbeth reply? A. Then live, Macduff, because why should I fear you? B. I am invisible and will be the greatest ruler of all until I die. C. To be double sure, he will still kill Macduff so that he can sleep soundly at night. Or D. That is a sweet prophecy and a great omen. So Macbeth says, then live, Macduff, because why should I fear you? And the other answer is, to be double sure, he'll still kill Macduff so that he can still sleep soundly at night, even in spite of thunder. This is a sweet prophecy and a great omen is said after the third apparition gives the prediction. And this also he says after the third prediction. Okay. Describe the third apparition. A child crowned with tree in the hand. B, a bloody child. C, the ghost of Banquo. Or D, an armed head. So now we already know it is A, a child crowned with tree in the hand. What shall Macbeth do so that I may tell pale-hearted fear it lies and sleep in spite of thunder? So what shall Macbeth do so that he can sleep in spite of thunder? Macbeth shall make an agreement with fate, or you can write destiny, that in order to ensure his own fate, he shall kill Macduff, and by doing so, he will be able to conquer his own fear and sleep soundly at night even if there is thunder outside. So, in order to ensure his own fate and in order to conquer his own fear and in order to be able to sleep peacefully at night, he is going to kill Macduff. What does the third apparition tell Macbeth? So all these predictions and who these apparitions are, they are really important questions. So make sure that you don't get confused and you learn exactly what each apparition tells Macbeth. So the answer is be courageous and proud like a lion. In the passage it is written, be lion-mettled, proud. Do not care who hates you. resents you or who conspires against you. Macbeth shall never be defeated until Birnam Wood marches to fight you at Dunsinane Hill. So this is the prediction. So what was Macbeth's reaction after the third prophecy? He says that it can never happen because nobody can command the forest and make the trees pull their roots out of the ground. So he is saying that how can Birnam Wood march to Dunsinane Hill? So he says it was a sweet prophecy and a good omen. That means I will never be vanquished. I will never be killed. He says my murderers will not come back to threaten me until the forest of Birnam moves, and that shall never happen. So I shall remain king for my entire natural life and die only of old age, as it is customary or as it is nature, that I will only die of natural causes and nobody will be able to kill me. Okay, next one. Macbeth's heart throbs to know one thing. What is it? A. If Fleance will kill him. B. If Banquo's ghost will still trouble him in the future. C. If Lady Macbeth will continue to support him. Or D. If Banquo's sons will ever reign in this kingdom. So the answer is he wants to know if Banquo's sons will ever reign in this kingdom. That is what his heart throbs to know. When the witches say, seek to know no more, what does Macbeth reply? A. I demand satisfaction. B. Deny me this and an eternal curse shall fall on you. C. He begged the witches for an answer. Or D. He cursed them and called them filthy hags. So the answer is, he says, first, I demand satisfaction and deny me this, an eternal curse shall fall on you. He does not call them filthy hags. He is too proud to beg the witches. Next, all say, show his eyes and grieve his heart. Come like shadows, so depart. And what does Macbeth see? So it showed 8 kings, the last with a glass in his hand, followed by the ghost of Banquo. So this is what Macbeth sees. When Macbeth sees the kings, why does he call it a horrible sight? So what all does he see? Everything is mentioned. So Macbeth first sees the ghost of Banquo and then he says, you resemble the ghost of Banquo too much. Go away. Then he tells the first person, your crown is too much to look at. Then he tells the second person, your blonde hair, which looks like a second crown below your crown, is just like the first king's hair. So your blonde hair is just like the first king's hair and your hair looks like a crown below the real crown that you're wearing. Then he sees that the line of king goes on and he says, right, what will the line stretch out to the crack of doom? And he realizes that they are all related and in the line of succession. The 8th one holds a mirror in which he can see many more men, and some were holding double balls and triple scepters, showing they were kings of multiple countries. Then he realizes it is true that they were descendants of Banquo, and Banquo was smiling and pointing at them as his descendants. And when he realizes that this is true, he calls it a horrible sight. And he says, let this hour be marked forever in the calendar to be cursed. Macbeth shall never be vanquished until great Birnam Wood to high Dunsinane Hill shall come against him. So what does this prophecy show? A. The power of nature. B. Fate cannot be changed. C. Ambition and overconfidence brings downfall. Or D. Manipulation of truth. So here what are the witches doing? They are manipulating the truth so that he becomes overconfident, and that will bring about his downfall. So here they are manipulating the truth so that he thinks that he can never be defeated. How does the appearance of Banquo's ghost and the line of kings affect Macbeth's state of mind? A. He is unaffected and calls it an illusion. B. It motivates him to be even more ambitious. C. It convinces him that the witches were manipulating him. Or D. It causes him great despair and paranoia. So the answer is option D. Yes, it causes him great despair and paranoia because he comes to know that Banquo's descendants are going to be kings. After the witches vanish, what did Macbeth tell about the witches to Lennox? A. They infect the air wherever they go. B. They must not be trusted. C. They confuse people with their prediction. Or D. Damned are those who trust them. So the answer is option A and option D. So they infect the air wherever they go. And if you see here, Macbeth is unknowingly cursing himself and saying, damned are those who trust them. He trusts the witches, right? And with a slip of a tongue, he is cursing himself. Next, what accusation does Macbeth put on time? A. Time is running really fast. B. Time is standing in the way of his terrifying plans. C. Time runs fast for some and goes slow for others. Or D. The time is manipulated. So the answer is option B. He says in the passage, right? You are ruining my carefully laid plans. What resolution does Macbeth take after he comes to know that Macduff has fled to England? So Macbeth says that from now on, as soon as he takes a decision, he shall immediately take action. He shall make no more foolish talk, and he shall do the deed before he loses his sense of purpose. So soon after he thinks of a plan, he shall immediately put it into action. And coming to the last question, and even now to crown my thoughts with acts, be it thought and done. So how does Macbeth intend to harm Macduff? So Macbeth plans to launch a surprise attack on Macduff's castle. He will seize the town of Fife. He will kill the wife and children of Macduff and anyone who stands in the line of his inheritance. So Macbeth is ready to do total destruction and damage. And he has become brutal. And that is the end of the scene. So I have tried to cover as many questions as possible, and I'm very sure now you are completely thorough with this scene. So please share this video among your friends and keep watching these videos. All the very best for your examinations. I am really proud of you. God bless.